Well, Mike, thank you for coming over Zoom. Sorry we couldn't do it in person. I'm glad in your interest for Moby Technologies. I can't wait to hear a lot about you. So, what was your major and or minor in college?
So in college, I was a computer science major with a minor in finance. My goal being that I wanted to be able to work in information systems in the financial area, which is my ultimate target for my job.
What was kind of your influence on choosing that major?
So I could always code a little bit. I was never that good, but I could always code in HTML and SQL and PL SQL. But I really enjoyed numbers and I enjoyed accounting. And I talked to a friend of the family who said you'd be a really good programmer for these big financial systems. And I thought mixing the finance and the computer science together would be a perfect fit.
Nice. Okay. How many jobs did you work as a young adolescent?
Oh my goodness. As a kid, my first job, this is back in the days where you had to buy your paper route and then you got your paper, you delivered papers every day. And then I worked as a landscaper in a cemetery, which is by far the loneliest job in the world. I caddied as a teenager at a golf club in Massachusetts. I worked at a restaurant, the second Bertucci's ever in the US. And I worked my way up from the dishwashing up through making the pizzas. And then ultimately I had an internship in college, which gave me my big break working in a finance company. That ultimately got me my first job.
So now, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh my goodness, 5 years, leading a big team, installing major systems for major corporations, transforming financial products, the technical pieces of financial products, transforming them for companies and pushing them to do things that people don't necessarily think they can do today.
What is your plan to make that happen?
My plan would be to get a job at Moby Technologies, number one. And then that would be to come in and work my tail off and work my way up, understand the systems, become a team leader, become a manager, become a director, and then become someone that the senior leadership staff comes to for advice and for leadership in the company.
What would you say your strengths are?
My strengths and weaknesses would be stubbornness. My strengths are being a team leader. And I think my background that I've worked so far is also a strength for me.
Okay. What about your weaknesses?
Like I said, being stubborn, not always willing to listen to everybody. Once I've kind of been on that bone, if you will, I kind of don't let go of it. That can prove very successful, but it can also prove to run you down a dead end. So I do need to work on taking other people's position, advice better.
Now, why do you think you are the best person for this job?
Because I will work my tail off. And my experience so far for this position, having both a finance and computer science background, I am an ideal fit for this position.
Have you ever been the leader of any team or group? Have you been a follower as well?
So I've been a follower for a long time. So certainly I understand what good leadership is. I have been with people who I want to run through a brick wall for, and I've been behind people who I will not run through a brick wall with. I want to be, so I haven't been a leader of a large group in a business setting, but I do understand the characteristics of what it takes for people to want to run through a wall for you. And that's what I hope to do in this position.
How would you say you deal with computer burnout or just the stress that comes with sitting at a desk and looking at your computer all day? Do you have any process that decompresses you?
Yeah, so a couple things. So it sounds kind of crazy, but I some people in the office for my current job, they have these bouncy chairs. They also have tables that go up and down, so you can both bounce and go up and down in the desk. And so going for walks after sitting for so long, getting some fresh air, that has helped me. from a coding, from a sitting from a long sedentary standpoint. So that has proven so far for me quite well.
Mhm. Have you worked with any computer language before? If so, what programs?
Yeah, HTML, SQL, PL SQL. So my main language is the Oracle's SQL, PL SQL language that I've used in the past. I'm fairly proficient with it.
How do you work in those group settings? Give me a time where it went well and when it went bad, and how you handled it.
In a group setting with people.
Yes.
So I've been in a setting with a group where we had I was a low team member, and we had a hack in our system where other companies could see other people's information. And I could see some people, so I'll give an example where some people lost their cool. Some people remained very calm. I like to say that I remained calm, and remaining calm in a high stress situation where thousands of dollars are at risk ultimately leads to a faster, stronger solution for a problem, working in that team environment. So on the flip side, while I like to think that I remained calm in that situation, I saw people that did not remain calm, that kind of lost their marbles, and they did not help the solution. So I like to think I saw both sides of it in that one key moment.
Good. How would you deal with an upset client when the software does not transfer over smoothly? What kind of team member would you be in that situation?
Yeah, so I had a real good mentor, even in my early year. I don't have that many years working, but I had a real good mentor where you should never get to the point where a client has to whip the contract out and say, you're supposed to do this. As soon as someone pulls the contract out and is dissatisfied, you've lost them as a client. And so I've tried to break, if there are issues, I try and break down those issues. The client to understand them, what the solution is to those, and what the path is to fix those solutions. So I always know I can reach out to people that can help me fix the problem, because that's one of the most important things you can have, is knowing who can help you fix a problem and keeping the client calm during those situations, and then giving them a path to get them fixed and setting the right expectations. That's probably the biggest thing I've ever learned in my working world is if there is a problem, make the solution sound a bit worse than it is, and then come in and deliver under those deadlines, instead of lying to a customer or misrepresenting the information and then having them get even more upset at you. That's probably one of the key things that I've learned, and what I tend to do with my business, my clients, if you will.
All right. Well, thank you, Mike, again for doing this
Oh, great.
Zoom call. My office will be in contact with you. I hope to speak with you again. Thank you.
All right, great. Thanks.